on 95.3 FM in Windhoek, Desert Radio. The Bold Voice.
We are joined in studio by the Commissioner of the Peter Nanyemba Plan Combatants Veterans Trust. This is Nkrumah Mushelenga, and he's going to talk to us about the welfare of former veterans. He is also a former commissioner of refugees in Namibia, so we're going to get a lot of insight on the front of veterans and refugees and their status in Namibia currently. Mr. Mushelenga, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for calling me.
How are you doing this morning?
No, we are doing fine.
Mm-hmm. No?
The weather is very moderate. It's nice.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Well, we're going to jump right into it so that we make sure that we do make the most of the time that we have with you this morning. To start us off, you've written to President Hage Geingob to get an update on the pension buyback scheme for veterans. Just please give us an overview of, what was written in that letter and what all of that entails.
Well, what happened was that we are aware of the cabinet decision which was taken on the 25th March 2014, that the cabinet, of course, sent the decision to GIPF to do some calculations for the payment of the payback pension of veterans. And then, of course, after that decision was taken, we were, of course, the majority of the veterans that were qualified were registered. And then when the registration was completed, so the name of those veterans was sent to GIPF for the calculations. And once the calculations was done, so GIPF sent also the summary in which they have indicated as to how much each veteran is going to get, and then also that the ministries or relevant government institutions should now start budgeting money for the veterans when they go on retirement. And this, to us, this was a moderate decision because, in fact, all of us were put at the same time. In another word, the directives was that the GIPF should use 15 years of hard work in exile, whether you, as long as you are trained veterans and then you are a veteran that has been fighting, and then, of course, to us, and then that each veteran is going to get the counting now from GIPF indicated that each veteran is going to get 400,000 Namibian dollars. So we were very excited because, I mean, since we went in exile, some of us went there when we were young. We never worked before. And then when we came, we stayed more than 20, 10, 15 years, depending on the time that one went there. And so we were happy to hear that we are going to get a pension. And because this, in fact, is also a practice in other countries that fought for their independence. Talk about Angola, Zambia, South Africa, Botswana, not Botswana, but Zimbabwe, for example, and in many other countries in other parts of the world. Now, then we say, okay, because when we were in exile as freedom fighters, particularly those who were at the military side front, so we were reporting directly to the Commander-in-Chief of the People's Liberation Army of Namibia Plan, Dr. Sam Nujoma, through the military council. And therefore, we consider, and that is right so, that when we enter Namibia, the first president of the Republic of Namibia, which is the founding fathers, became again the patron of the veterans of the liberation struggle. And then the second former president also became the patron. And then the current president is also the patron of the veterans of the liberation struggle, because, and therefore, anything that is part of the former plan combatant veterans should be first, the president, the head of state should first be informed about our concern. Now, the reason why we drafted the petitions first is to remind the leadership of SWAPO and the SWAPO government that 25 March 2014, they made a very, what we call humanitarian decisions to facilitate for us to get what they now call token of appreciations. And that by the time that was 2021, we reminded them that it's now 7 years ago since this decision was made, but nobody, no veteran has been paid his. Those who are now on a retirement have been received this money. So is it not the right time now? And we ask them whether do they know that justice denied, justice denied, justice delayed is justice denied, because most of the veterans have not worked even when they came from since they came from exile, not because they didn't want to work, but also because the labor market became the different. They put up different requirements for one to get employed. You must have this and that and this and that. And most of the commodity that are coming from the plan combatants, so their experts were based on military and police and other things, security, let's say security. And therefore, we were happy that when the president, the founding father, established the military component in Namibia. So we were told that, of course, for reconciliation to work, at least we must have some people from plan and some people from the other side. So that does not make us feel bad, because we know the reason why the leadership so decided, because that is for us to keep peace and stability, and then also to learn from each other, and then avoid the mistake that has been going on if there was any mistake. So we were excited. Now, again, that was now in 2021, and the deadline for the president to cabinet to answer us was that after reminding them was August, thinking that because August is a date dedicated to the veteran heroism, and the president or the leadership were going to be excited and probably give us the answer. So as when we are going to get our money, that deadline just passed on. Then on this September 8th, so we call a meeting again, and then we discuss we try to review what exactly went wrong, why we did not receive anything. And then we start drafting another petition. Of course, we just modernized the other one, add some key elements there. And then we send it to the State House again. And as we do it, both petitions, we gave to the president, the current president, the former president, the founding father, the vice president of the republic, the vice president of SWAPO, the secretary general, and the prime minister. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because we want to avoid, perceptions or suspicions of this and that. So all top leadership must have the same content, so that at one point in time, if they are interested, they come together and now start saying, oh, there is this reminder. What went wrong?
Mr. Mushelenga, sorry to cut you there, but speaking on the Prime Minister, you also recently had an engagement with the Prime Minister on this particular issue.
Yeah, it was on the
and the plight of veterans. Just talk to us a bit about the outcomes of that meeting.
Well, the meeting with the Prime Minister was very, 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 very diplomatic, very, very, very comradely, and so on. But it was also characterized by democratic consensus and a democratic way of dealing with issues. So, unfortunately, that meeting was supposed to be attended. The Prime Minister was supposed to be with the Minister of Defense, according to the letter that came from the President's office. So, but we were surprised to see that and even before we came to the Prime Minister, we were already informed that the Prime Minister will be together with the Minister of Defense. And then all of us were shocked to learn that the Minister of Defense, neither his deputy, were present at that meeting. So, okay, then what do we do? The Prime Minister went on, then we went through our... So what we did was that we gave them about 12 recommendations, what the cabinet should do with regards to when first we wanted to know when are we going to get our money, and secondly we also say we also have a problem of the children of the liberation struggle that has been cut from us. I mean, you can't divide family. So these children, some of them, their father and mothers died in exile on duty, and then when we came to be paid what they call token of appreciations, so these children were not given an opportunity also to benefit from the token that their mother and father that died in exile supposed to benefit from. So they were just left out in the pool like that. And there are a number of issues. The question was that what happened if the cabinet has made a decision that becomes a national issue, isn't it? So because cabinet is the heart of government, and then we ask now that what happened, and then why, if there was change of mind by the leadership in cabinet, why they did not inform the intended beneficiaries, because we were not informed. 7 years ago, nobody was informed. So then yesterday we had a meeting with the Minister of Defense because he was not part of that other ministry. I mean, the Prime Minister's meeting.
Yeah.
And you see, one gets surprised. You see, you get the context in which the other one is discussing is different from the other one. And lucky enough, this Comrade Kapofi was the Secretary to Cabinet by the time that decision was made. Now, our questions is whether the president, the current president, was informed about these things, or he was not informed. And then so now, yes, Kapofi yesterday agreed. I mean, not agreed, but then yes, he agreed that yes, the decision was made, and that the decision was made, and that he was by then also the Secretary to Cabinet. You know, we're asking what went wrong. Why this decision is not being implemented? And then the directive was also that the ministers, individual ministers, should budget according to the number of the veterans that were registered in those ministries. Now, we are asking, what happened to that budget? Have the ministry budgeted for, or they have not? If not, what went wrong? Yeah. So then somebody somewhere was sleeping on duty. So and then we exchanged a lot of issues on that topic, and then at the end of the day, of course, we realized that it's either there are those who are unwilling for us to receive this money, because if the decision was made, then we were told, oh no. Later we realized that the groups are too many. We don't know which one now and how to get in touch with them. And then as a result, we have changed, we have amended the provision 37 provision of the Act. Then we are saying, how can you amend an issue that is based on retirement and you do not inform the affected or the would-be affected community of veterans? I mean, but you could see the people have got nothing to say. Yes, we'll say something, but it's not something that's persuasive. It's not something that is believable, because you could see that the person is just saying something to make you know that yes, we are aware, we are seeing what you are going through, and sometimes it's very demoralizing. So and then of course we are representing veterans in all 14 regions of this country, and the issue of these are issue of bread and butter for the survival of the veterans and their dependents. So we came here delegated by the comrades that please, these are our recommendations to cabinet. So we gave the recommendation, the copy to the minister. Yeah. And also we gave earlier to the prime minister. And now we are waiting for cabinet to answer, give us answers on our recommendations and the questions. Yeah. And that is where we are now. So we will go back to the north, and then we'll have meetings. We are going to cluster regions into 333 because of the distances, and then also because the expenses of transport and other things, so that together we can go and agree on the way forward. Particularly if the cabinet is not answering us, then we will now start trying to see the options that we are going to take.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Mushelenga, thank you very much for sharing that with us. And we will definitely be keeping an eye on the situation as well, and hopefully hearing from you in the future as to what is decided.
We'll definitely give you the information.
All right.
Thank you so much.